Hello, I just wanted to give you a quick build update in light of my last video where I showed just how underpowered the summoning seal mechanic actually is. I'm only using summoning seals for the stats now, and I've updated my build to better work with that, and I'll show you how that all comes together as well. Here's the build now. I'm still using the Grace of Judo Gene, 4 pieces to get the 5-piece bonus, the Omeo Magic Power. And I have it on both of my weapons and both of my accessories as well. For my armor, I've got 4 pieces of the Shrine Maiden armor for the 3 and 5-piece bonuses, especially the Untouched Omeo and the Enhanced Omeo, and also for the Sacred Water. For the Wandering Shrine Maiden, I've got 2 pieces of, or 1 piece of it, to get the 2-piece bonus, the Untouched Sacred Water. This gives 70% Untouched Sacred Water, and this is so that we don't run out of Sacred Water to trigger the Enhanced Omeo Magic effect from the Shrine Maiden set bonus. For special effects, I just ensured that all of my armor has Defense Bonus Magic, Life Drain Amrita Absorption, and Amrita Gauge Charge bonus of some kind. For my ranged weapon, I just cared about getting the Grace and the Amrita bonus Inflict Scorch status effect. I'll show you why in a few moments. For my accessories, all I cared about was having the right Grace of Judo Gene. For your weapon, something I learned is that your special effects on your weapon don't matter. They're not even active while we're casting spells. All that matters is your Grace on your weapon, your melee weapon. Let me equip my melee weapon really quickly and show you. So my Kusarigama here has Life Drain Elemental Damage D+, right? And I'll go into my stats and you'll be able to see Life Drain Elemental Damage D+. There it is. Now when I unequip my melee weapon, so now I'm barehanded like when I'll be casting spells, and I go back into my stats, and there's no Life Drain Elemental damage there anymore. So the special effects on your melee weapon, they're not active while you're casting spells barehanded, so they just don't matter at all for your melee weapon. The only thing that matters on your melee weapon, just like your accessories, are just making sure that you have the right Grace. Now your ranged weapon special effects are active while you're casting barehanded, so just keep those up to date. Next I want to show my clan. So for the clan, I switched to the Takeda clan for the fire damage, and I'm still using Kajiwara for the slow Omeo Magic hit. And there's also a clan to boost your lightning damage, wind damage, or water damage if you wanted as well. I went with fire damage because I love the explosive shot spell. Just don't use Akechi. Akechi gives you 25 Omeo Magic power, which is such a small increase to your magic damage that you won't even notice it. These percentage damage increases are way bigger. Like, you'll get 400-500 extra damage per hit from these percentage bonuses. Next, let me show you my Soul Core. So I'm still using a Blood Edge Demon for the elemental damage, and for that 3rd slot I've got Amrita bonus Inflict Scorched, and I'll show you why a bit later. Again, on this one I've got Amrita bonus Inflict Scorch, but the Tsunekake Baba Soul Core is there for the blind on Omeo Magic hit. And you saw the blind's effect on that Cyclops in the opening there. It completely destroys any ranged enemies tracking. Let me show you where you get the Tsunekake Baba. Chapter 2, Owaba no Suji area in the Kamo Riverbank Shrine. It's really close by. So you just run straight down this path and you jump on top of some houses, you'll be able to see a sand tornado. That's it there. That's a Tsunekake Baba. And you can kill this Tsunekake Baba as many times as you need to get the soul core, because it respawns. So in New Game Plus, she will drop a blue soul core, and on New Game, she can drop a white or yellow. And you saw me just using a couple of damage buffs there, so these are the ones that I'm using. It's Talisman of the Fist as always, Carnage as always, and Sacred Water to take advantage of the Shrine Maiden 5-piece bonus that gives you enhanced Omeo magic damage whenever you use a Sacred Water. And that's what the 70% untouched Sacred Water was for, so that we never run out of Sacred Water to keep boosting that damage. And let me just show you, these are my statuses here. So basically what I'm going for in this build is with the fire damage, that's my hardest hitting element outside of using Hell Shock spell, which is just crazy strong. But fire damage, when I use Explosive Shot or any other fire spell, it builds my Amrita gauge faster so that I can use Living Artifact much more often. Outside of that, the key categories to look at here are just damage dealt, status ailment infliction, Amrita gauge, which shows my Amrita gauge charge, and other, which will show the untouched stat. And with this new update to the build, we actually hit a lot harder with our spells now, since we were able to put everything into maximizing our spell damage. We're able to kill humanoid bosses in just 4 spells. Sometimes I'll start with throwing out the Blood Edge Demon Summon just to distract them while I buff up with Carnage, Talisman of the Fist, and Sacred Water. And then the spell rotation that I normally use is Hellgust, Explosive Shot, Geyser Shot, and then Hell Shock after they've already got 2 stacks of Confusion on them, and that finishes them off. And it just works against every humanoid boss. They're all the same pretty much, so they'll all die in 4 spells. So I've shown you how blind affects ranged attacks, so I also wanted to show you how it affects melee attacks as well. And it's easier to do that against a yokai boss, since yokai bosses live longer and attack a lot more frequently than humanoid bosses do. For melee attacks, the first attack pretty much always targets you directly, but all of the follow-up attacks, like if the boss does long combos, those can be affected by the blind status effect, and the enemy will just continue flailing in the direction that they were already going in. And if you manage to get behind them, breaking the enemy's lock-on, they're sitting duck for you until you either kill them or they somehow manage to turn around and lock onto you again. So that's the blind status effect, and that's the build update for New Game Plus. And this is how I'm going to go into the DLC when that comes out in a few months. Thanks for watching.
Told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away, as you fade away. you fade